Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live broadcast. It is a great day to be an American patriot who loves freedom and supports Donald Trump. It is a great day if you are a person who wants to live in a secure nation with secure borders, with no fentanyl, with low inflation, with businesses booming. It is a great day if you don't want World War III with Russia. It is a great day if you want peace around the world, and it is an even better day for you, especially like it is for me. If you woke up today and said, I want to see some liberal tears. I want to see my president today make liberal leaders of the world literally cry on camera. It is a good day if you used to be called an election denier by the left, and today you get to see the same left that used to say denying the results of an election is anti-democratic, now denying results of election. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a great video. I'm in a good mood. I got my bubbly, literally just sparkling water, bubbly. We got liberal tears. We got Maxine Waters in this episode denying election results. We got Trump ending war in Russia. It's amazing. Do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up button. Make sure that you're subscribed with bell notifications on so you never miss an upload or a live stream. Leave me a comment. Where are you watching me from and how is your day going? And before we continue, a big shout out and a special thank you to the sponsor of today's live, Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the golden age of the United States of America. And right now was a great time to protect your money or invest your money into physical, constitutional gold and silver like this 1 ounce American silver eagle. This is real constitutional money, not just printed dollars out of thin air, backed by nothing, sent overseas to pay for wars that have nothing to do with you and then tax you to pay it off. Makes no sense. Get free silver on your next order when you call or text 480-717-9081. Tell them Vlad sent you. They'll give you free silver. They'll take care of you. Links down below in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. First thing I'm going to show you is this. We're going to jump to the Gateway Pundit. And then from the Gateway Pundit, we are going to go to Twitter. And I'm going to show you some liberal tears. Election denier Representative Maxine Waters suggests that Elon Musk's high technology ass may have tampered with election results. Oh, look at that. Look at that mug. You know, that's Trump derangement syndrome right there. Watch this. It's hilarious.
Turned it over to him. And we don't know everything that turned it over to him. And we don't know everything that Elon Musk has done with his high technology ass. We don't know what he's been accused of by some as it may relate to the election. But we're not going to give up in investigating and finding out.
So in her long video, right, that little interview that she did, she claimed that Russia hacked the 2016 election, and now she's claiming that Elon Musk hacked the 2024 election. Dear Democrats, so we can all agree that Dominion voting machines can be hacked and they're bad and we need to get rid of them and go to one-day voting with paper ballots, voter ID, and citizenship requirements, right? So as of today, Maxine Waters and the Democrats have taken a stance that our elections can be hacked. Well, if you don't have Dominion voting machines or any other voting machines and you just do paper ballots, one-day voting, you're right, you got to show your ID and proof of citizenship. Who can hack that? So finally, Democrats, we found something in common. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get better. Let me take you onto my Twitter page. By the way, if you are on Twitter, do me a huge favor. Let me scroll up and show you. This is my Twitter page. At ANN_news92 Vlad tweets. Please go follow me. First things first, I want to show you this. This is Justin Trudeau last night, literally crying with tears going down his face because of the tariffs.
On a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office I put Canadians first.
Oh,
But
yeah?
I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you.
He's
Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future. On a personal level.
All right, let's talk about that really quickly before I move on. He says he has the back of the Canadian people. Well, do you? You stuck a carbon tax on your citizens. You're one of the only countries in the world to do it, where even people who don't own a car, right? You tax them for heating their homes in the winter when science has proven that Canada has such few people, population is like 41 million, and so many trees that your trees literally absorb over 110% of the carbon emissions the Canadian people put out into the atmosphere. Let me repeat, the same guy that's standing there and crying, I've got your back. Take care of you. Dude, you put a carbon tax on your people, the people that are already suffering to high inflation because of a libtard brain like yours in government, but you have more trees than needed. Your trees absorb over 110% of the carbon emissions the Canadian people put out. So do you really stand with the people of Canada? I don't think so. Plus, you took their guns away. Screw you. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. We got more stuff. This is what Donald Trump said today, just moments ago, about the Russia-Ukraine war.
I'm finding it more difficult, frankly, to deal with Ukraine. And they don't have the cards. They don't have the cards. As you know, we're meeting in Saudi Arabia on sometime next week, early. And we're talking, I find that in terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia, which is surprising because they have all the cards. I mean, they're bombing the hell out of them right now. And I put a statement in, a very strong statement. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Mr. President,
We're trying to help them. And Ukraine has to get on the ball and get a job done. I'm finding it more difficult.
So for the last about 48 hours, the Russian military has been bombing Ukraine. I mean, mercilessly. And Trump doesn't like seeing death. He doesn't like seeing death and destruction. So he's actually threatening Russia now. Listen to this.
Right.
why not provide Ukraine with air defenses? And what happens, Mr.
Oh,
President?
this is not I thought that was the video where he threatened. Donald Trump said, before I play you this clip, Donald Trump said if Russia doesn't slow down and stop just all this crazy barrage all over the country, he said he's going to sanction their banks, pretty much turn Russia off from worldwide banks until this war is settled. So this is Donald Trump talking about, quote, if they don't want to settle, meaning Ukraine, we are out of there because we want them to settle. I'm doing this to stop death. Secondarily, way down the line, the money.
Ukraine.
That's right.
Why not provide Ukraine with air defenses? And what happens, Mr. President, when Ukraine runs out of
Well, because
Patriot missile
yeah,
batteries?
good question. Because I have to know that they want to settle. I don't know that they want to settle. If they don't want to settle, we're out of there because we want them to settle. And I'm doing it to stop death. More important than anything else. Secondarily, way down the line is the money. So we're in for $350 billion and Europe is in for $100 billion. They should be in for the same or more than us. And, you know, I watched over the last week or so what's going on in Europe. This thing could end up in World War III if we don't get it settled.
I love the fact that we have a president who wants to stop the death. Before I play you this clip of Candace Owens, all right, Candace Owens and Steph completely opened the eyes of Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to jump onto my friend's Twitter page. I'm going to show you some more liberal tears. So South Africa. when Trump became president, the leader in South Africa, who's all about killing white people and, kicking them all out of the country and taking away their land, kind of like what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. Well, Trump said, Trump stopped all foreign aid to South Africa. Watch him speak first. Trump shuts off all foreign aid to South Africa, and watch their leader, their president's tone last night. It's hilarious.
Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone.
So he says, Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone. Okay, Trump responds.
Kaori.
You said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South Africa?
No, it's only South Africa.
We are committed to having a good relationship with the United States.
Now he's committed to a good relationship with the United States because Trump turned off. And look at the difference in his face. Top guy in the first one, real humble, diplomatic-like guy in the second one. Can we have that foreign aid? Listen, this is it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
And we do relate to them in a number of ways. And what has ensued now with the Secretary of State not attending.
And Marco Rubio did not fly to their South African summit this morning. And he's like, please come visit us. But ladies and gentlemen, this is how the world sees the United States. We gave them money. Like Senator Kennedy of Louisiana said, why do we give money to nations that hate us? They should be able to hate us for free. Why do we give them money to hate us? Hate us for free. And, when they thought Trump was just another guy, the money's going to keep pouring in no matter what they do or what they say. We're never going to stop giving them aid and all these billions of dollars. Well, Trump is not Biden or Obama or Bush's or Reagan or anybody else. This is Donald Trump. We put America first, baby. And now everyone's so kind. See, they only are kind to us because of our money. They don't care about us. Tomorrow, we could get nuked by China or Russia, and the world would not even flinch an eye. They won't care about us. They won't worry about us. They won't cry about us. And like Donald Trump yesterday at his press conference said, he said, I believe that if the United States really got into some deep, deep problems and was attacked, and we would go to our NATO allies and say, come on, Article 5, let's go. He said, I don't think they'll come. He said, I genuinely do not believe in my heart that our European allies and our NATO partners would come to our defense or our rescue. And you know what I have to say? I agree with Donald Trump. I agree. I don't think they would come help us. All right, let's go back to, we're going to end it up with this hilarious breakdown of who Zelenskyy is, because Stephen A. Smith didn't even know that Zelenskyy used to be an actor, a comedian, a cocaine addict, a gay dude. Now he does.
Back to Trump in this regard, we just saw it. That world just saw. It wasn't a press conference or anything like that. I don't call it that. Him with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy and how he went at him and what have you. Now, Zelenskyy, if I remember correctly, you didn't speak too highly of him. I want to make sure I'm quoting you accurately. You called him a homosexual actor. Is that true? Did you call him that?
I also just called him the neighborhood crackhead, kind of just goes around asking for money. I called him a welfare queen, ghetto. This is the thing. The media kind of had me depicted throughout BLM as this person that uses these words to describe Black people. I'm like, no. Let's be very clear. When I'm calling somebody like Zelenskyy a welfare queen, there's a reason for that. You come here with your hand out, asking, making demands. It's funny because I was having a discussion with my husband about this, and it's people that tend to need the most that make these sorts of demands, and they're so arrogant. He's taken billions away, unaccounted billions, by the way. So you and I have to get to work because Zelenskyy wants his borders protected, and we can't have our borders protected because that would be a racist thing to ask for. But he's allowed to demand that you and I get to work because he spent all the billions. His wife is shopping in Paris. The oligarchs in Ukraine are all buying yachts. And yeah, I have absolutely no respect for him, but I want to say I have not respected that man since day one. This is not something that's new. I just saw him coming.
It's not something that's new.
Yeah. So before Zelensky, became president, he used to be a comedian, right? He used to play the piano with his male genitalia on TV. He used to strip dance. He used to make fun of Ukraine. He used to make fun of the Ukrainian flag, Ukrainian national anthem on stage. He mocked the Ukrainian military. He was so funny that he would fly to Moscow, to the Kremlin, and do shows in front of Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin sat front row seat to Zelensky's shows. He used to dress up in drag and then strip on stage. Zelensky, just Google any of this stuff. Fact check me. The videos are there.
No, but what about Trump and Vance and how they conducted themselves? You and I might disagree on this particular issue, because I don't disagree with what you're saying in terms of, I was on the record saying, listen, you're coming with your hand out. You need money. You might not want to be confrontational. You might want to be a bit more diplomatic, Zelensky, because you're the one that's in need. And Trump wasn't wrong when he said, oh, you don't have any of the cards. You don't have any of the cards. The flip side to it, however, is that the press conference, you're in the Oval Office. We know this is the White House. This isn't someplace in Ukraine. And he's got broken English, and you got the vice president interrupting him. You got them, I thought, somewhat bullying him to some degree. I just didn't think it was necessary. It was a good look. That's where I'm coming from. Am I wrong in feeling that way?
No, I think you're perfectly, I mean, these are your feelings. They're valid, right? If that's how you felt. For me, I felt it was refreshing. I'm so tired of politics. I know they always button it up for us. They're constantly telling us, oh, this, and saying things that sound good, but don't actually result in good things. And I think it was sort of the frustration of how much he has taken from America to not come with some respect. And I likened it to, even when you go to your granddad's house and it's your birthday, your mom kind of makes you wear something special. You know, he's going to give you a card and slip some cash in there, $100. Granddad's always good for that. And you just come with some decorum and some respect. This dude has been wearing military fatigues for like 5 years now. Okay. Put on a suit. As soon as he gets out of the car, Trump's like, well, he's dressed up. This should let you know, this should signal to the public that what he's doing is an act. Why? Give me a scenario, a reason why he can't put on a suit. Even if you're in the midst of a war, why can't you put on a suit when you're coming to ask for money? Well, because he wants people to see him as a guy that's downtrodden in the trenches. And he's not that. This guy's been on the cover of Vanity Fair. He's been on the cover of Vogue. He's been on the cover of Forbes. He's doing photo shoots. He did a 3-hour podcast with Lex Friedman. He asked and was declined a spot to go to the Oscars a couple of years ago. And so this is making a mockery. It's just making him put on a suit.
See,
there we go, ladies and gentlemen. She explained it perfectly. But we've got breaking news, and I want to actually finish it up with this story. Man, I love President Trump. So President Trump came out and threatened both Ukraine and Russia. He threatened Ukraine. Look, if you don't want to come to the peace table, if you don't want to come to the negotiations, no more weapons. We're out. We're not going to give you any more money. We're not going to make a peace deal with you. We're not going to help you rebuild your country. And then he looks to the Russian side and says, if you don't want to make a peace deal, we will completely sanction you out of the banks of the world. So your country will be like North Korea. So he gives both of them an ultimatum of why they need to end this war now. Because the biggest thing when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war is not even Russia or Ukraine. It is actually the way that the European countries are acting and behaving and puffing up their chests and feathers. It's the European countries like Germany, France. They are the ones who Trump is like, these guys are idiots. It's not Russia or Ukraine. It's the European countries that are reacting to the way how Trump is trying to end this conflict. So this is what we got right now. Developing. Putin ready to discuss truce with Ukraine after Trump threatens Russia with, quote, large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs. So Russian President Vladimir Putin is reportedly ready for a truce with Ukraine after President Trump threatened to sanction Russia. President Trump on Friday morning threatened Russia with a large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs until Vladimir Putin reached a ceasefire and final settlement on peace with Ukraine. And this is what Trump said. Based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I am strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. To Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it is too late. Thank you, Trump said on Truth Social on Friday. Vladimir Putin is willing to open the conversation toward a final peace settlement with Ukraine, according to Bloomberg. And is this his, I believe this is his quote maybe? Russia is willing to discuss a temporary truce in Ukraine, provided there is progress toward a final peace settlement, according to people familiar with the matter in Moscow. And the first signal of a positive response from Vladimir Putin to U.S. counterpart Donald Trump's call for a ceasefire. The offer was conveyed at last month's talks in Saudi Arabia between top Russian and American officials. The people said, asking not to be identified, discussing internal policy. I like how they are ending this. President Trump has absolutely had it with the never-ending war between Russia and Ukraine, thanks to Joe Biden. I love what Trump is doing here. He looks to Ukraine and says, look, you either make a deal or we're out. He looks to Russia and says, you either make a deal or you're out of the banks. You will be like North Korea. You're going to be locked in. So both of them have a big reason to end the war as soon as possible. This is where diplomacy, this is where great leadership and president Donald Trump, the guy who wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, genius, love it, great. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this Friday live stream update. Make sure you're subscribed because I post daily. I go live daily. I try to go live daily. But I try to be on top of every single story ASAP. I try to give you the latest, the most breaking, the most up-to-date, and not just random news and reactions to what the mainstream news media says. I try to give you stuff of substance. And I appreciate each and every one of you who trusts me with a daily news upload. God bless you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. By the way, for all the men out there, for all the men, the sons, the husbands, the fathers, tomorrow is International Women's Day. March 8th is International Women's Day. Go get your wife, your mother, your mistress, I don't know how you live, your daughters, maybe your mother-in-law, forget her. But the women in your life, get them some flowers, get them some chocolates, show them you love them, show them you appreciate them. God bless you. See you guys in the next one. I'm out. Have a great weekend.